It looks like we got one more dip and then one more little climb, and then we're all downhill from here. Now the trick about going downhill is not going too fast. Where I'm at now, the hotel I'm at now, doesn't have the greatest internet, so I haven't really been able to download the film off of the camera. Film, I keep saying that. Every time I do that, I show my age. Yes. When I first got into video, oh God, what is it? When I first got into video, how old was I? I guess that's 24 years ago now. We still used video. I mean, we still used tape. I actually had some old Super 8. If anybody knows what that is, Super 8 was like a sort of higher quality film format than VHS, and I used mini digital video film for a long time in my career. If I sound and look familiar and you live in the Philadelphia, New Jersey area, and you're finding these videos by happenstance, if you got married and you had a wedding videographer, that might be why I seem familiar. This is my first year in 20 years that I'm not spending my summer capturing other people's weddings and arguably the most important moments of their lives. We've done a lot of videos for quinceañeras and anniversary parties, sweet 16s, stuff like that. So I have, in my years as a videographer, I've been to, conservatively speaking, well over 1,000 weddings and events like that. I have to just double check my map here. Honestly, it's been a real joy to do that for all that time. Shout out to John and Dawn Martin. John and Dawn Martin of Martin's Wedding Videos in South Jersey. Some of the best bosses I've ever had in my entire life. In fact, every year when we close out the season, I make sure to tell them, I know it sounds weird coming from an employee, but I love you guys. You guys, John and Dawn have, amongst a plethora of other people in my life, have really sort of been there for me. When I was a poor college student and struggling to eat, making ramen noodles at my buddy's apartment because I couldn't afford an apartment, and I drove back and forth from home. And when I was in those times where I was hurting for work, John always went out of his way to try to give me as much work as he possibly could so that I could survive. One time, this was later on, I had some sewer issues and sewer backup at the place I was living. And when I let John know about this, he said, well, why don't you just come live at my house? I got the basement. He said, I'm hardly ever here. It almost brought that level of kindness almost brought me to tears. So I am so grateful to have met them in life. Before I did wedding videos, I used to shoot sports games for Channel 13, which was a public access channel, television channel. Shout out to Kevin Haight for taking a chance on a young 14-year-old kid and giving me a job with a TV channel, and being patient with me when I was young and dumb and more hyper than I'm sure most people would want to tolerate. And then when I was done that, Channel 13 sort of closed because of cuts to government funding, which was sad because we really had, it wasn't just you know, they cut the television program and turned it into a PowerPoint slideshow for all the civic announcements. But we used to do school board meetings and city council meetings and all that good stuff. And we also had talk shows, little mini talk shows that would examine current events in the local area and what was going on in our community. So it really was a blessing. Thanks, Mr. Haight, for believing in me. We always thought he was the coolest guy in high school because he had a Lotus Esprit. I think it was the V12, I don't know, V12? Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. Maybe I'm not that versed on cars, but we used to think it was the coolest thing because our high school teacher had, you know, taught us a supercar. So, and then when I was done that and they sort of cut the funding to that and I moved on. Oh, shout out to Mickey Brandt, who was involved in all that and tried to keep that program running for as long as he can. I haven't seen Mickey Brandt in town for a long time, but just one of the nicest guys. He worked with me at Channel 13, and just like Mr. Haight, he always took the time to show me how to do things the right way and explain things in a way that I could absorb. But then when my time there was over, I went to work for Mr. Schimmel, and Mr. Schimmel, I forget, had a video company in town where other high schools, not the high school I went to, other high schools would pay Mr. Schimmel to send someone like me out to a football game and shoot the football game, you know, with the video camera. I know, you know, photographers and video guys say, oh, I'll shoot this, shoot that. Sounds like you're talking about something violent, but you're not. Shooting film. So yeah, I did that for Mr. Schimmel for a couple years. Pretty cool. I really enjoyed that. And I gotta tell you, doing a one-camera football shoot is cake work. You start wide. As the play develops, you keep as many people as you can in frame, and then you keep the ball in the center, and as the play comes to a stop, you tighten in on the center of the ball. So that was always how I shot video for football. Never really had any complaints that I can remember. So I doubt Mr. Schimmel or John and Dawn or Mr. Haight or Mickey Brandt are listening, but I'm grateful to you guys. So I'm hoping this is our last sort of climb here. Yeah, so it's showing us, I'm checking the map, it's showing us that there's steps on the downside here, so that could be good. And that means we won't be doing that sort of rock scramble thing we were doing earlier. Which, I'll be honest, I did not plan to sign up for this morning. Just a little sketchy to do by oneself. I think we'll wait a couple days till we upload this video. Seems like I shot about an hour worth of footage today. I have my spare Insta360 battery, but that hour of footage has burned through a good 50% of the battery on this camera. Now, is this a lookout spot or is this the trail? No, this is our trail. wow. So it's been a tough hike today. Not as intense as Mount Maya, that's for sure. But views like this make it worth it. God, it's just beautiful up here. So, just thinking about some people in my life that I wish were here to enjoy this with me. I don't know if I wish that walk on them, because it was a little intense. Not undoable, but it's intense at times. But there's definitely some friends and some family members that I wish were teleported right here and right now, just to spend a couple minutes with me up here. This is absolutely beautiful. Japan is such a gorgeous country. I have fallen in love with it. I love America. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love my country. But at least in the portion of the country where I live in America, in New Jersey, there's nothing like this. Yes, we have beautiful coastlines, but you don't have gorgeous green, luscious mountains overlooking the water like this. This is just, oh, chef's kiss. Huh? I'm not gonna lean on these railings because I don't need to have an accident. But oh God, beautiful, gorgeous. This place is gorgeous. I have absolutely loved my time in Japan so far. The people are so kind, so respectful. It seems a lot of the infrastructure is created with a lot of forethought. And the natural beauty of this country, it's just stunning. It's just stunning. Now the visibility is not really that good, but I can just make out the coastline across the bay, and that should be Osaka. All right, this one's coming up on 18 minutes, and it's also coming up on 4 p.m. So as much as I'd like to stand up here all day, take this in, and oh, let that wind evaporate the sweat off of me. Oh God, that just feels so good. Almost to the point of being cold. Oh. So we're gonna shut this down in a second. 1 for time, 2 for battery life, and 3 because I'm gonna start getting moving down this mountain. We're gonna get down, we're gonna find some more water. I have water, I'm not out. And I also need to double check my map here because it looks like the trail splits here. Actually, we're gonna use this side with the handrail. But you know, nothing's as cool and as refreshing as cold water. And like Mr. Vanna always says, if you don't have ice, you might be in the third world. I don't know if people would find that statement offensive, but to me, the yardstick of an advanced civilization, the yardstick of society, or one of them, I will say, because there are multiple, is having the time and the ability to freeze water so that you can put some frozen water in your drinking glass. It's the bee's knees, as they say. The cat's pajamas. Although, you know, I'm not an entomologist or an insect scientist, but I'm not sure if bees have knees. And I've never seen a cat in pajamas. Mr. Venna, they're expressions. Don't take them so literal. That's a good point. So I think we're trekking the right way here. Okay, I keep seeing these metal posts with the little star on top of it, and I see them everywhere. I saw them in the sidewalk on Tokyo. I see them in the trails in the mountains. I don't know what they are. My instinct tells me that it might be an elevation standard, sort of how like the National Geology Service in the US has benchmarks. There will be little stone structures or metal plates that delineate a specific benchmark height. Something tells me that they're GIS points. So GIS is Geographic Information Systems. And I think that's where you would put your GIS stick to establish a benchmark. A little bit of spiciness on this trail. It looks like there has been some converging trails here. One a little bit less spicy than the other, so I'm gonna keep my eye out for that. And again, if I feel like I am too close to the edge, I try to lean my body towards the mountain so that if I fall, see there's another one of those little points, so that if I fall on my butt towards the mountain, which shouldn't be that far, rather than falling forward on my face and then thusly down the mountain and then farther than I would if I were to fall back. So when the trail's hard or not exactly easy, it's always a good idea to just keep double checking your map so that if you do make a mistake, you can catch it before you go too far out of the way and have to hike a difficult portion of the trail twice. Woo! So my GPS computer tells me we're 2 hours in. We got 52 minutes left, and we've gone 3 miles. And it says I got about an hour left, although again, I'm not so sure how accurate that is. Looks like we're coming to a set of steps up here with a hand railing, so that sounds nice and safe. Another little quick view. And I gotta say, although this wind is keeping me pretty cool, when I hit the sunny spots, I'm definitely missing my hat. Nice, beautiful little vista. Let's see where we're at here. Oh man, we're at 25 minutes. I gotta shut this down or it's gonna become a bear to edit. And honestly, it kind of just looks like I'm gonna take these steps back to the road. So we'll shut this down for time, and then if we see anything else that's interesting, we'll bring it back. All right.